there's one world government, and there's, oh, by the way, digital IDs, it's already here, right? Because we were talking about this earlier. You see, everyone's going, oh, when are they going to bring it in? They're going to bring it in. No, it's here right now. Your digital ID is essentially a combination of your car and your mobile phone, right? Now, this is what people do not understand about the dangers of actually registering your car. Because if you register your car, you've handed over ownership. You've given it to a corporation called United Kingdom, and it has an agent, DVLA, Agent C, that runs that with the transport department within the corporation called the United Kingdom. You can see it all. It's a corporation. So what you've done, you've given it to the DVLA, and then you have to then get permission to drive government property, and you have a license plate put on it. That's why it's called license. License means asking permission. And they tell you this. They literally tell you this. The politicians tell you this. They say, we're going to put a license plate on that car. You don't get to pick it. Well, you can get a private one, but it's still not yours. That plate is owned by DVLA. Now that the DVLA has control of that private car, it's now a vehicle for commerce. And what that does is it takes your private car. There was a manufacturer statement of origin that came with that car from the factory, the Lamborghini factory, built the Lamborghini, created a manufacturer statement of origin. You should have got that. So you should have got your Lamborghini with the MSO, you kept that, not registered it, just drive it on the roads, and then speed limits don't apply, you don't need a license, parking tickets don't apply, ULS doesn't apply, you don't need MOTs, road tax doesn't apply, you don't pay tax and VAT on the fuel anymore. So much simpler.
That would be okay if you didn't have a mafia who would stop you and take it off you.
Bingo. And that's what we were talking about earlier. And you've got the police, and they are acting unlawfully and illegally. And you're absolutely right. They are mafia. But there's only 60,000 of them. That's all. So there's not many of them. I do have a plan. So now here's the thing. So the MSO's created. But what happens is because most people don't know what they're doing, they buy the Lamborghini through a dealership. And the dealer will say, would you like us to register it for you? And because you don't know what you're doing, you go, okay. So you do that. The MSO is sent to the transport department, the treasury.
So at that point, if you said to the dealer, no, I'll register it myself.
You can say that, or I would just say, just give me the car. I don't want it registering. Thank you. Don't want it registering. Just give me the car. I'll pay you the money. Thank you very much. Oh, Lamborghini, I want the MSO. That's mine. That's what you should do. And you have the right to do that, by the way. And by the way, your rights come from you.
So they'll give it you.
Yes.
Would it have a number plate at that stage?
Nope.
No.
Not registered. So the way it works is the MSO is basically the deed to the car. Okay. This goes into their system of commerce. This goes back thousands of years, but basically if I built something and I wanted to sell it to you, I'd have to prove that I actually built it so I could sell it to you. Say this glass, and I say, I made the glass and I'm going to sell it to you. You'd say, well, how do you know that I built it and I had the right to sell it? And I say, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an affidavit and I'll swear to Almighty God that I did make it. There you go. And then you would get the affidavit along with the glass. And then you would know, because I've sworn to God, that I made it, right? Fast forward to today, and the modern version is the corporate version, which is the MSO, Manufacturer Statement of Origin. It's very similar to an affidavit, but it's done through corporation. So that proves that the car's yours, and you own it outright. Full allodial title. But what happens is, because you register it, the dealer does it for you, that MSO goes to the Treasury and the Transport Department. They then create what is called a Certificate of Conformity. They're telling you this. Certificate of Conformity. What are you conforming to? They're telling you. And what you've done, you've agreed to take your private car and turn it into a vehicle for commerce. You've agreed. You said to the dealer, register my Lamborghini. Now, that COC, Certificate of Conformity, by the way, the word certificate means copy of from a higher authority. So if you've got a certificate from anybody, it ain't yours. It's someone else's, right? Someone else has the authority on that certificate. That's what certificate means. So you get the certificate. Certificate then goes to the DVLA. They put it into a trust. Don't need to go into that too much. But then they will issue you, again, here's a clue. Anything that is issued to you means you do not own it. If it's issued to you, then if I issue you with something, then I own it. And so you can borrow that. I'm issuing it to you. Think of it like when you go in the army, they issue you with the uniform and you, yeah? So if anything is issued to you, like driver's license, passport, bank account, you don't own it. So it's issued to you. So the DVLA will issue me with one of their license plates and a document called the V5 logbook. And it will literally say on it that you are the registered keeper. Remember, we were talking about legal titles earlier. And it'll even say, even it is written in all caps, this is not proof of ownership. It will say on it.
That's a recent thing, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. That happened. Well,
Is there
I say
a reason
recent,
for that? Did they get challenged or something?
The reason being is up until that point, before they, well, I say recent, but before Gordon Brown sold all the MSOs, manufacturer statements of origin, before he sold them all, you see what was happening is people were registering their cars for decades.
So he didn't just sell the gold.
No, yeah. In fact, it was my research on that gold. Yeah, he sold the gold. I was researching Gordon Brown and how he sold the gold. And as I was researching it, I found an article saying he sold it MSOs. And I went, what the hell's an MSO? So then I went off, I went, oh my God, where's my MSO for my car? And then that's where, that's what it led me to what I know now. So, but you're right, he sold all the gold, he sold MSOs. Well, what it was is because people were registering their car for decades, all these MSOs were stacking up, and they've got a value. An MSO has the same value as the car itself. So if you've got a £50,000 car, MSO is worth the same. So it can be securitized and used as collateral and sold. And that's what Gordon Brown did. He sold them all because no one collected them. They just sat there. And then Gordon Brown, you know what? This is a good little scam going because we're making billions. Let's do it forever. And that's when he changed the logbook because it used to say registered owner. And then it switched and then it became registered keeper. And at that point, all MSOs were sold. So at the point you bought your new car and you registered it with a dealer, that MSO would be immediately sold on the debt market and away it goes. But what you've done is now it's a vehicle for commerce, right? You've now entered into a corporate jurisdiction, which is the DVLA. The DVLA is a corporation, and guess what? It has a set of rules, and it's called the Highway Code. And you've agreed to this. Now the speed limits do apply to you because you're driving government property within their government jurisdiction. You've accepted the code. It's the same as if you go and work for McDonald's. If you work for McDonald's and McDonald's says, well, you've got to wear a funny hat and you've got to wear a uniform, and you've got to do it because it's their policy. You've agreed. So that's how they do it. They track it. But here's the thing. The scam is beautiful when you think about it. It's dirty, but it's beautiful. So what they'll do, they'll say, well, that's government property now. You need permission to drive government property. Therefore, you now need a license. So they get you to do a license. So you spend hundreds of pounds doing a test. You pay for that to get the license. But here's the thing. Because the government knows this is a good money spinner, they will only ever allow 49% of the people to ever pass. So even if you are the best driver in the world and you do everything absolutely perfectly, if that driving instructor has passed his quota, you're going to fail. So you've got to go through it all over again and you spend hundreds of pounds again and it all circulates. So it's another machine to get more money out of you to fund the national debt. And then, of course, you've now got your license and now they've got you. Now going back to the ID, why it's so dangerous. It's not just about... See, registering your car is not just about speeding tickets, parking tickets, and all the rest, ULEZ and all the rest of that crap. It's much, much more serious because this is how they bypass your rights. Now, you would think that before the police can kick down your front door, they better go and get a warrant from a judge and a magistrate or someone from the court with authority in quotes, signs off on it. Then the police get that warrant, then they have the right to kick in the door because that means you had due process. Due process is there to protect you, right? So everything has to be due process. So if they kick the door in and do something wrong and they did not do their paperwork correctly, you are now have grounds to sue because you did not get due process. Now this is a problem for the police because they like to just kick your door in anyway.
Yeah.
So they've found a way around it. And they've done this by using what is called the registered keeper. What have you done? Because you've registered the car, you've now become a registered keeper. You've switched jurisdictions. You are operating in the jurisdiction of the DVLA now. Legal title, registered keeper. Now, the police cannot kick in your door as Mr. Smith, because that's a different jurisdiction. They can kick in your door if you are the registered keeper. And all they have to do is make a claim upon you that you are drink driving. That's it. They do not need a warrant. They can go around your house, kick your door in, drag you into a cell because you are the registered keeper. Okay? And that's how they do it, because they're not arresting you, the Mr. Smith or whatever. No, it's registered keeper. So actually being a registered keeper bypasses your rights, even in the legal system. It bypasses the Human Rights Act, for example. This is how legal titles and jurisdictions operate, and every person doesn't see it. They don't understand this. The policeman cannot touch you as a living, breathing. So if you're not Mr., you go, I don't have a surname. I'm not a member of the public. I'm the living, breathing, right? My name is Pete. That's my given name. I don't have four names. Given to me by my parents, or not parents, because that's another legal title. Mother and father give it. And I have my family name, which was given to me by my father, which is Stone. That's it. That's what I have. I do not have a surname. I don't have a title. I'm not a resident. I'm not a registered keeper or any. I'm not a member of the public. I'm not a civilian. I'm not a citizen.
What does parents mean?
Parent, yeah, right. It's a word used in commerce. Have you heard of the term parent corporation?
Yeah.
There you go.
Parent company.
Parent company. There you go. So what they're doing is, this is how they do it. Now, here's the thing. If you are mother and father, you do not have custody of your offspring. And you go, oh, hang on a minute. What did I use? I used a word called custody, didn't I? Well, what does that mean? For you to have custody of something, it means you are the custodian of it, which means you are not the rightful owner. That's how they trap you with the language. You've got parents going in. Well, it's the legal title. Instead of mother and father, it's now parents, legal title, operating in commerce, and now they're debating custody of the child, legal title, chattel, that's what it means, owned by the state. It's a completely different game, and the average person doesn't even spot it. And because they don't, and this is another thing, they're using family court. Stop it! Family court. They're telling you it's not a court of law. They've just called it family court. Corporate family. And because you're now operating in that jurisdiction and you're fighting over custody, you're telling the judge that you're custodian of property owned by the government, which is called a child. And of course, if you don't do a good case, guess what the state's going to do? Take the child off you. Social services do this all the time. So if the social services knock on your door, they'll say, are you the parent of that child? You go, yeah, I am. You've lost. You're done. So mother, father.
So what would the answer be? No, I'm the guardian of this child.
Not guardian either.
Not guardian.
Father or mother, and I own my offspring. They belong to me, right? Now, people say, you can't use the word belong because that refers to an inanimate object, like a laptop belongs to me. No, that's not what it means. Belong means belonging. In other words, let's say you feel like you are in a group of friends and a good family. You go, this is where I belong. That's the meaning of the word belong. Freedom. This is where, people don't understand what freedom is. Freedom means free in my dominion. Right? So freedom, free dominion. I'm free in my dominion. That means I can choose who I belong to and who belongs to me. Because I can say to friends or whatever family, go away. Or I can choose, you can be a part of within my dominion, freedom, belonging. So all these people have no clue what they're doing. They're going and using legal titles and having their children taken off you because they don't know the meaning of the word. So if you are the mother and the father of your offspring, then you do not have custody because they belong to you. You can't have custody of something, and if you own it, if it belongs to you, because to have custody over something means you don't own it. Okay, so it's all in the language. I'll give you another little clue. People fall into. They use the word community. You heard this all the time. It's all over the page. Everyone's saying, "Oh, got to get together. It's all about community." And I go, "Do you know what the word community actually means?" Community means the action of being within a commune, right? And you go, oh, okay, a minute, what does that mean? Well, if you found yourself in a commune, it means you've given up your right to your estate, you've given up your right to privacy, you have accepted a set of rules, and you've also accepted the governing body that controls the rules. This is why politicians use the word community all the time. So if I say to you, the politician says, we are going to protect the community by bringing in facial recognition. What has he just said? He's called all of you members of a commune. And what have you just done? Given up your right to privacy. And if you don't speak out, then the politician has said, all right, you've already given up your right to privacy, therefore the facial recognition is lawful and legal. Because you didn't call it out. You didn't say, I'm not part of a community. That's how they use language. This is why people don't understand how to read. You've got to learn how to read at a three-dimensional level, not just the text that's written on the paper. You've got to go, what's being said or what is not being said. So, yeah, it's a minefield out there.
That's brilliant points then, Pete. How, just going on your last point then, if a politician says something like, we're going to impose this on the community, how can the people change that? Because we don't live in a democracy, do we?
Oh, well, here's the thing with democracy. See, that's another trap. You see, here's the thing with voting and democracy. If you find yourself in a democracy, you're a slave. Now, the system, a true democracy, here's the thing. Within a true democracy, there's no voting. You go, what? There's no political parties and there's no government. So the word democracy means democratic people or sovereign people. It's a combination of two words, Latin. I think it's demos, meaning people, and can't quite remember, but people can go and look that up. But it basically means sovereign people. Now, what it means is the people are sovereign. They're not part of a collective. There's no voting going on. Now, if two sovereigns are within a dispute, they solve it in court. So the court is basically the government. There's no actual government. There's no politicians or anything. It's the sovereigns get in their court. There's a building that they can use. Two sovereigns get together. They are equal. Two separate courts collide. They have a jury. The jury decides who's right, who's wrong. Sovereigns go their separate ways. That's how it truly works. Now, what people are finding themselves in today is what's called a pirate democracy. This operating within maritime law. So we go, okay, what does that mean? Well, let's cover maritime law. People get confused what maritime law is. All right, if we cover that, then you'll understand the trappings of a democracy. Maritime law is basically means that you are boarding a vessel, and on that vessel, operating as a jurisdiction, there is a set of rules and there is a captain, okay? So you've got to think to yourself, well, what am I? Am I a crewman or am I the captain, right? In most cases, you're a crewman. Now, if you're the crewman, that means you've got to follow the rules of the ship and you've got to follow what the captain says because he's the boss. That's what maritime law is. Now, almost everything today within culture, I don't like using the word society because I'm not a member of society because I didn't fill out my membership form. So everything today is operating as maritime law, and there's a clue. Everything with the word ship on the end gives you a clue. Membership. Oh, now that means
partnership.
Partnership, exactly, another one. So anything like friendship, for example, scholarship. What if you hear the word ship, it's basically saying there's two people involved and there's some sort of agreement going on. So if you find yourself in a partnership or whatever, or membership or whatever it is, you've got to think, well, am I a crewman or am I the captain? Right? So what's going on is the entire country, which is a corporation, okay, it's a jurisdiction, is operating as maritime law. You are tricked into entering it as a civilian or a citizen or simply a member of society. There you go, they're telling you, member of the society, whereby there's a set of rules, which is legislation that you've agreed to follow because you're the civilian, and the captain is Boris Johnson, blah, 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 whatever, whoever the president, prime minister is, whatever. So that's how maritime law works. Now, within maritime law, there is something called pirate democracy. So let's think about the actual ship now. And you're actually boarding a ship. Now, as a sovereign, and I choose to be a crewman now. I know I'm a crewman. I am boarding the ship. I'm boarding the ship. I am a crewman. Now, what I'm doing is I am agreeing, and consent makes the law, by the way. I am agreeing that I'm going to give up my sovereignty and I'm going to give it to the captain to become the crewman. And I will take my position in this hierarchy. Thank you very much. I couldn't remember the word. Hierarchy. Where the captain is above me, okay? The captain is now sovereign in title only. Anyway, we go to sea, and we're sailing away with all the other crewmen, and you've got the captain. Now, the crew can get rid of the captain. You say, you know what, this captain's rubbish. He's sailing us into the rocks, let's throw him overboard, we'll get a new captain. This is where pirate democracy comes into play. So a lot of the times, the captain will turn around and say, well, okay then, I'll allow the crewman to have a vote on if you get an extra ration of rum this week, right? But remember, the captain is determining what you can vote on and what the vote is about. So the crewman can then make the vote. So if you find yourself in a democracy today, you've got to ask yourself, who controls it? Who's the captain? Here's the thing. When you vote, can you pick what to vote on? No. Can you pick who you want to vote on? No. Can you pick when to vote? No. They select that, don't they? They tell you. Can you say, you know what, I'd fancy a general election next week. Does that suit you? Suit next week? Well, I'll make a phone call. No, you've got to wait till they say so. And then if they want, a vote in a new prime minister, can you pick Bob down the street? Oh, Bob, he's down the pub. He knows his stuff. I want Bob. No, you can't get to pick Bob. You've got to pick their selection.
Yeah.
It's a trap. People think they have a voice. No, you don't. You don't have a say in any way, shape or form, because someone else is controlling that democracy, and that's why it's called pirate democracy, because the captain of the ship is controlling it. He's telling you what you can vote on and who you can vote on. It's a trap. And a sovereign would know that. A sovereign says, sovereigns don't vote. I don't vote.
I've said for years, democracy is just an illusion.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's the illusion. You think you're in charge. You think you have a say. You think you have a vote. Here's the thing. You've only got two parties. You can vote on blue or you can vote on red. And in America, it's no, you can vote on red or you can vote on blue. And people still do it. Stop it.
The same party, aren't they?
They are.
Where they're fresh-faced, I'm going to do this for the community. As soon as they get in, they get the tap on the shoulder. No, you're not. You're doing it our way. This is the road ahead.
Correct.
Can't veer off.
So the only way we can get round this is running on a parallel system, isn't it?
Correct. It's for the sovereign people to walk away and we say, look, we don't want to be a part of this anymore. We already know that tax is contractual. We know that ULEZ is contractual. And I was tricked into it because I've registered my car, so I want my car back. Thank you very much. My business, whoopsie daisy, I don't want to register it anymore from Companies House. Can I have it back? Thank you very much. You don't pay tax anymore. All this legislation is voluntary. No thanks. I don't want to follow it anymore. I can do it on my own. People have to become responsible for their own actions. Here's the thing. As a man, you should be naturally responsible for your own life. You shouldn't be following the orders of another man. I don't.
No, I don't.
You know what I mean? In my house, I am head of my house. Okay? In my house, I am sovereign within my dominion. Right? My word is law in my house. I have my own rules that I follow. These are my moral codes. These are the things that I choose to follow. These are the things that I think is right and wrong. Now, what I want to do is meet other men who are also sovereign, right? And I can look them in the eye and go, you are equal to me because you do not look up to another man, okay? You hold your house, your name. In fact, your name means something. This is something that's lost. If you're a man, your name should mean something. It has value. So when people hear your name, they go, oh, that guy, he's sound. If he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. You can trust him.
With Matt Hancock, every time I hear that name, I think, what a legend.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Very subtle. That was very subtle because for a minute I thought you meant that. I thought, oh dear, how do I make an excuse? I'm in the wrong podcast.
You're not going to work for him no more now, are you?
My price has gone up. It's £2,000 an hour. And I want a Bugatti. I was going to go for a company called Zalamba. That ain't enough now. But that was so, you had me there.
So Pete, just stepping back a bit again, we touched earlier on, so we're talking maritime law now.
Maritime law.
Earlier we mentioned common law.
Common law.
Again, during COVID, a lot of people who were fighting back or trying to fight back were quoting common law, and we're not doing this, we're going to use common law, blah, blah. Where do the two meet or collide?
Well, what I try and do is I try and explain to people, use your law. Don't go looking for it because it's someone else's. It's like rights.
So Magna Carta, a lot of people were quoting
I know,
that.
I know.
What's the situation with that?
Right, the Magna Carta, here's the thing, right? This is, again, you've got to get the mindset right. So the Magna Carta Magna Carta basically means great contract. So that gives you a clue. It's a contract. Okay, who's it a contract between? Well, king and 25 barons. And you go, okay, fair enough. And you go, well, is my signature on it? No. Was I there at the signing? No, because it was 12, 15. I hadn't even been born then. Okay. It was also written in Latin and then translated. So there's a bit of a loss in translation. So you go, okay. Am I a baron? No. Okay. Am I a king? No. Okay. What's he got to do with me? So the thing is a lot of people, this is the thing.
So people saw it as a protection.
I know.
But really, it's not, is it?
Not. Here's the thing. Again, going back to the man thing as well. A true man would not look for protection somewhere else because he is the protector. I got to protect myself, okay? That's how it is. If you're a man, your job is to protect women and children. You are the protector. You don't go looking for it. So this is the thing. Now, I forgive women doing that because they're naturally inclined to look for a protector. That's why they look for a man. They want to look for a man who can provide and protect, right? So women are naturally geared for it's like biology. That's what they're designed to do. Fine, it's not a problem. I'm completely fine with that. However, men, no. You don't go looking for protection because that means you're giving up your authority, aren't you? Because think of it like a child, 5-year-old. They want mummy and daddy to protect them, right? This is something we have to grow out of. This is when you stop being a boy and you become a man. So when you reach the age of consent, you're supposed to be good to go at 16. Right, so when you're 16, you should be good to go and say, right, I'm now going to step into manhood. I am now sovereign. I am now responsible for my own life. I will protect myself. So the problem is so many people are looking for protection and they're looking for magical paperwork. They're going, oh, Magna Carta, oh, Bill of Rights, oh, Constitution. Constitution, that's another trap. If we have got time, we'll go into that. Stop looking for paperwork. There's no such thing as magic paperwork, all right? It's your paperwork that has the power. Your word as a man. See, the paperwork is the extension of your authority. Right? This is where the word authority comes from. Author, authority. My word. I have authority. I am sovereign. I am putting my authority in my paperwork. I am the author of it. Here. This is why I don't do forms.
I've written it.
I've written it. Exactly. I'm the writer of my word. I speak it. I write it. Authority, author, that's where it comes from. You need to use your law. You put the law down. It's your law coming from your dominion, coming from your jurisdiction. And you say, this is the way it is. So people have got to get into this. And mainly men have got to start doing this because us, men, we're there to protect women and children. I don't expect women to do this, although women have to because there's not enough men left.
Do you think, Pete, on this point, that have you noticed how the generations have got more immature?
Oh, yes.
Definitely. You know, you get
feminine.
Foaming at the mouth for the latest Star Wars film.
Oh, God, yeah. I've seen men crying, and I'm going, oh, my God. I don't know what to say. But, yeah, you're right, absolutely. I mean, this is going on.
That's been done on purpose, sure.
Of course it is. Yeah, toxic masculinity. Yeah. No such thing.
Yeah.
No such thing. Completely made up.
Transgender.
Yeah, it's all. Now, the thing is this has been going on at least since the 50s, and it's been building up. Now, what they had to do is this is not only is it indoctrination, but it's also a chemical attack because they've been changing the food. And what they've been doing is they've been changing the food and they're getting men to eat more vegetables, fruits, grains, soy. Oh, yeah, we all know about the soy, the damage that's... I know. So what's happening is men aren't actually physically growing to their full height. They're not actually growing. They're also losing their testosterone, their drive, their determination, their goals. I mean, most of these, I don't want to call them men anymore. I call them males. They just happen to be male. But they're still at home. They're 42 years old, still at home, playing Xbox and working for McDonald's. What's going on? You know, when I was 12, I was planning my life. I'd already decided to buy my first house when I was 17, 18, because I thought I was going for job interviews when I was 15, when I was still in school. And I thought, right, okay, are they all planned? All right, leave school, get me a job.
Was that before you knew that it wouldn't really be your house?
I didn't know back then. I didn't. Although I was questioning even then, because I remember getting my national insurance number.
Yeah.
I was 15, and what the hell is this? I got a card
What is a
company.
national insurance number?
It's a bank account number. This is what it is. Now, this is all in the language. National insurance. They're telling you. What's nation, national, corporation, insurance? What they're actually literally telling you is you are the insurance for the corporation. You are, right? That's why it's called national insurance. Because you are insuring the corporation known as the UK. Now, that national insurance number, with a little bit of tweaking, we do have the formula. You can convert that and get a bank account number, and it's actually registered with, I believe, Citibank. And every time you pay tax, it goes into Citibank. Technically, it's split. I think the Bank of England gets a slice, the Vatican gets a slice, and of course the government gets a slice. But that tax is paying the interest on the national debt. Okay? So I think, if memory serves, I think the Vatican owns the surname. Okay? So you've got to pay 60%. And the 40% then goes to Citibank. Well, I think it all goes to Citibank, and then it splits off. But then the Bank of England and the government gets a slice, and they own the forenames. So they own that.
So that's us in this country.
Correct.
What about someone in Germany, say?
Same thing. They just have the
Same
language.
thing.
It's the same in every single corporate country. But they just change the language a little bit, and there is a bit of loss in translation. For example, in America, it's called Social Security. They're telling you Social Security. What's social mean? Society. Hang on a minute. What's a society? A society is a corporation, isn't it? And what about security? Yeah, you're the security for the society. That's why it's called Social Security. And people pay it. And they just go, okay. Oh. But yeah, this is how the system
So I've
works.
heard you mention before the Commonwealth.
Commonwealth, yeah. They're laughing at us. And not only that, they call it the Commonwealth. This is going back to common law again. Common law, Commonwealth is basically where all the plebs live in that jurisdiction and hand over their taxes
Or
to
the common people.
Common people,
Yep.
Absolutely. We're the commoners of common stock. Okay, we're the commoners. We're the ones, the slaves, supporting the people at the top who run this system. And not only do they call us commoners, but they actually get us, not me, but the plebs out there, to celebrate it by Commonwealth Games. Commonwealth. They're telling you the Commonwealth that supports them. So they're saying, where does their wealth come from? The commoners.
Yeah.
The Commonwealth. It's there in front of you. They tell you.
Everything's in front of your eyes if you know
It
where
is.
to look.
If you know where to look and you learn how to read. But I know this might sound doom and gloom. Everyone's going, oh my God, I'm trapped in the system. No. When you learn how the system works, you will see how fragile it is. It is so incredibly fragile that if I can get enough people together, we can blow this system over so easily because it's a bluff. All of it. Because remember, everything is corporate. And I know that a corporation does not exist. So if you want to claim back your house, yeah, you can. No one's going to knock on your door saying, no, that's my house. Because that person knocking on your door would be the one who defrauded you in the first place, just try and scam you out of your house. So that person isn't going to live very long, is he? The fraudster's not going to knock on your door.
So I always like after a bit of doom and gloom, I like a
Yes.
bit of
Oh, yeah.
happy stuff to
yeah.
follow on. Where do we go from here? What are your plans to make,
Yeah.
I was going to say society, a bit better, but
I'll just say mankind, culture. I try and stay away from society because obviously I'm not part of a society. I never signed a membership. That's a trap, society. If you say I'm part of society, you've agreed to a set of rules and the governing body, haven't you? And that's a trap. Same as community, same thing. So yes, what I try and do is the problem you've got is there are too many people who have a slave mentality, okay? They have a problem. Now, one of the things I hear all the time is these people will say, am I allowed? Oh. I know. If you're saying that, if you're asking yourself, am I allowed, then you will never be because you are a slave. You are trapped in your own mind. And by the way, the people...
drove me insane during COVID when people were saying, I wonder if Boris is going to allow us to go to the pub next week. It drove me absolutely insane.
Yes. Go to the
grown
pub.
Grown men were saying this. And I just think...
Males. They're not men. Because a man would just go to the pub.
What the hell?
And a man would say, who's going to stop me? I'm going to the pub. So yeah, you're absolutely right. But this, am I allowed nonsense? You have to get rid of that. So you've got to get rid of the mindset, okay? That is what's stopping most people to be free, is the mindset. And I do an online course. We've got over 12, 13, 14, I think, workshops operating now. Go on my website. It all started
when men started saying, I can't do that. Our lass won't let me.
Oh, exactly. I'm going to say, I went on a stag do once, a few years ago with a group of friends. And we're having a good time in Latvia, really good time. And then was in a hotel, and everyone's on the phone texting. I go, who are you texting? Well, I'm texting the wife. Why? We're on a stag do. Stop it. And they're asking their girlfriends and they're asking their wives, can we do it? I hear it all the time. I ask a male friend, oh, do you want to go out Saturday? I go, I don't know. I'm going to ask the missus. No. Go out. Here's the thing. If you start asking your missus and you put her in a position of power like that, she will lose respect for you. Because the woman will turn around and say, well, if I can tell you what to do, then any other man can tell you what to do. And then how are you going to protect me? And women, by the way, they test you. They will test you. And the little sneaky test that women do is when you're eating, right, you're eating, they'll try and nick a chip or something like that. Right? Now, a male will allow that. Man wouldn't. Man will, hey, put that chip back. Did I say you could take from my plate? No. The woman's testing you. She will do little things, right? And she wants you.
My wife only ever did it once.
Well, that's right. You go, oi, what are you doing?
I stabbed her in the finger.
Shot her. Yeah,
shot.
Stabbed her with a fork. She's never done it again.
She's only got one on.
Only joking, by the way.
Nah.
Sorry, love.
No, but here's the thing. It's not sexist in any way because, remember, what the man is doing, the man of his house has first title. The woman has second title, right? The reason being is because remember what the man is saying. The man says, yes, you are under the protection of my jurisdiction, of my house, and I am willing to protect you to the death. I am willing to die to save you. Now, for me to do that, that means you've got to follow my lead. So if I say, do this, do that, you just agree and you do it. Now, here's the thing. That's still not sexist. Why? Because the woman has the ultimate decision because she gets to pick the man she wants to marry. That is the only time that a man submits to the woman. He literally gets down on one knee, looks up to her. She's now a higher position, higher authority, and asks, do you want to marry me? It's the woman's choice. She gets the most powerful decision. It's her decision to make. And the reason for that is because us men, we put women and children higher than us. We put them on a pedestal. We say, you are more important to me than my own life, and I will die to protect you. Now, for me to give that protection means I am first title of my house. My word is law. You must follow what I say because I am protecting you. And a good woman will accept that, and a good woman will respect that. And like I say, women will test you. And if you fail, and you start asking the woman what to do, or can I do this? Can I go out with the boys on a night out? The woman is going to lose respect. Because she's going to say, why are you asking me permission? You're supposed to be the man of the house. So, yeah.
Can I buy that third car?
Yes!
Come on.
What are you doing? I'll just buy it. Now, let me be straight. It doesn't mean that you should be a deadbeat man, right? Because a man should provide. As long as the man is providing a nice house, comfortable living, the woman drives a nice car, all of it, she has no worries, right? She's not worried about paying the bills or anything. See, men, we are the providers and the protectors, and we are the shields from all the crap in the world so that women and children can have happy lives. So we are the shields. We are the buffers. We'll take the crap on. So the women and children have happy lives. You can do the birthday parties and the Christmases and go on holiday and have a nice, lovely life. We shield you from that. So I'm not saying if you're a deadbeat man and you're getting the woman to pay for your rent and all the rest of it, and you ain't got a job and you've got no determination, you've got no focus, or you don't have a house, No, you don't deserve a woman like that. But if you're a decent man and you say, look, I provide the house, I'll do all the maintenance on the house, I provide the car, I provide the finances, and I'm not talking, you don't have to be a multi-millionaire, just comfortable, just decent, just a nice house, the woman will respect that. And that's what men have to do. Men have to become men. You've got to go out there, have a plan. They've got to be focused, know what they're going to do. It doesn't mean you're going to succeed. So sometimes you fail. That's what being a man is. Yeah, sometimes you fail. You get knocked back. Fine. You carry on going. And that is lost. And that is why England, UK, whatever you want to call it, is complete. Look at the state of it now. It's horrendous.
Shocking.
It
Absolutely.
is. It is. Look around. Economy's collapsing. There's no strength there. You know, no men are standing up to this that I can see. It's depressing.
I notice on Easter Sunday as well, Pete, that the Labour Party had put a post up on X celebrating Transgender Day.
Oh, God.
And I just thought, really? It's supposed to be Easter Sunday?
What the hell's
Christianity? I mean,
Yes,
all
right.
that. God knows we acquiesce enough to minorities and their beliefs. It's supposed to be a Christian country. And what are the politicians doing? Acquiescing because they think they're going to get that vote.
Yes.
It's absolutely disgusting.
It really is. It's destroying the culture of this land. But going back to, that reminds me about tolerance. Sovereign doesn't tolerate anything. All right. So this is no more propaganda. This is political propaganda where you're told, oh, you mustn't judge and you have to be tolerant. Okay. You go, well, no. I judge everyone. And that's what the sovereign should do. That's what a man should do. He should judge everyone. And we're also being told, oh, you've got to respect everyone. No, I don't. Respect is earned over time. I'll be considerate. I will give people consideration. And if I get to know him over a period of time and I find that man is honourable, he sticks to his word, he's on time and all of it, and he says things, he gets it done, I will then give him my respect. Because the word respect...
You earn respect.
You earn respect. That's right, it's earned. I don't give my respect away because it's valuable. I don't just respect anybody. So I judge everyone, okay? I do not tolerate anything, and I'll give my respect to those who earn it over time. And everyone should be doing that, especially men. So it's just propaganda. It's just brainwashing. It's only applied to weak-minded people who fall for it. And that's the problem. More people have got to speak out and say, enough's enough, we're done.
Pete, I've got 101 questions for you. I still have. And they're going to need to be saved for another time.
Sure.
Let's finish off today about you've set up something called the Sovereign Project. Let's finish off talking about that, where you want to take that, what you think you can achieve with that, what other people can add to that, and give us a bit.
Oh, yeah, I can go into that.
The Sovereign Project.
So the Sovereign Project is what it says. Sovereign Project is to actually either connect with other sovereigns or help make people become sovereign. Okay, and it is a mindset thing. It's not paperwork. So that's why I set it up. There is a website called thesovereignproject.live.
Just putting in,
Yes.
when did you set it up?
Oh,
How long's it been going?
Oh, when did I set it up? 2021, I think, is when the website was set up. It happened in just after 2020 when all the nonsense was going off. This is why I've got to do something. It was basically the mandate stuff.
By the way, our last person in here, it was strange because we was talking to him, a lad called Charlie Green, and he asked us who our next person on was.
Yeah.
And when we said it was you, he'd just signed up to the Sovereign Project that very day, hadn't he?
Excellent. Excellent. We have about 10 people a day joining. So the way I had the idea, and it was just two of us at the very, very beginning. So it was me and a lady called Joanna. She helped with the personal side of things and communication and the website. And then I got to work creating all the handouts, the documentation. So what I was doing is basically, I've been researching this for 30 years. Basically, when I gained access to the internet in 92. And I had to put 30 years of knowledge into paperwork. I'd started in 2010 and I'd written my first book in 2017. So 2017, I published my first book, which is called The System, Death by 1,000 Cuts, just to give people a basic overview. Anyway, so the idea of the Sovereign Project is to meet sovereigns who are people who are already sovereign or help people to become it. And I knew I had a bit of a task on my hand because most people are brainwashed. People do not know how the system works and all the rest of it. So what I did is I set up a workshop in Leicester and people were turning up and I was explaining it to them. I do a PowerPoint presentation once a week. And then I tried to get more people to get involved and do their own workshops. And we got a friend of mine, Paul. He actually runs his own workshop. So he runs his as well. Uses PowerPoint presentations. We've got I think we've got 12, 13, 14, something like that, workshops operating, some in other countries. So these are workshops. You can look them up on the website. So I started educating people, helping them wake up. We've now got something like 15,000 members. I now have a team that works with me of about 100 people, and they're all doing different jobs for me. We have multiple projects on the go. We have the remedies for everything, all the solutions. We have it good to go. I just lack the network to make it happen. So one of the things we're trying to do, and we're going to release this very soon, is we're going to try and set up what we call chess clubs. Okay.
Yeah. Now,
a chess club is normally someone who's done a workshop on a Thursday night or Tuesday night. We will also have something on a Sunday afternoon. And this is where people can, it's more casual. People get a beer, coffee, and then they can chat about their remedies and that sort of stuff. We call that a chess club. We are trying to set up at least 650 chess clubs around the country.
Chess as in the game of chess, or chest, where you get it
chess
off your
game.
chest?
Because I'm playing chess here. Against the system.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. So I had to first get people educated with the workshops. At least they know about the birth certificate, how the money works, all this sort of stuff. So, and then get them on the journey. It depends how focused you are, but it can take, say, 18 months for you to be deprogrammed, to get rid of the crap. All right. And that's what I'm looking for, sovereign people. Now, once we get our 650 or more chess clubs, we are now going to start dealing with the problems we have. One of them is the council tax fraud. I think we all know that council tax is a fraud, it's a scam. Councils are private corporations. They do not have the right to bill us. That's fraud immediately, because you cannot receive a bill unless you placed an order. Where's my order? I didn't put an order in with this corporation. McDonald's can't just knock on my door with a bill and a gun and say, you've got to pay us, and go, I didn't order a Big Mac. Same with the council. So we know it's a fraud. We know they're using fraudulent paperwork. They do not use liability orders. So even in the legal system, they're not following the proper due process. We know all this. This is all well documented. Yeah. We know that council tax money is actually funding terrorism now. Look at the work of Chris Coverdale, for example. That's all been exposed. It's all out there for people who want to do the research. So we've had enough. We're not funding terrorism anymore, which is just blowing up kids with brown skin in third world countries. I'm not part of that. It's not my government. I didn't sanction this. I didn't allow this, so I'm not paying. So what we're going to do, 650 chess clubs, which equals to 650 MPs, and then we're going to start serving notice. We're not using paperwork. We're not pleading. We don't do petitions. We don't do protests. We're not asking. We're telling. We're serving notice. Cease and desist. Get it done.
Serve notice to who?
Politicians, MPs, by name. So not by title. So if there's a politician out there called Billy Bob, it's Billy Bob. Oi, Billy Bob, you are acting as agent for a corporation called the UK, which is committing crimes overseas and extorting me for money. Get it sorted. And the only way this is going to work is if we get a lot of people involved. So everyone can join. And what
we serve notice on that MP?
Serve notice on that, 30 days notice. Remember, the workshops that we set up...
Or the notice for what? Or else what?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to be gentle. We are going to start off with just a notice of interest. You see, a lot of these politicians and debt collectors and all the rest of it, they get away with this because no one challenges them. So they can make an excuse, I didn't know. Yeah. But if I serve them interest, a notice of interest, and explaining to them, oh, you've got council tax employees violating at least 10 acts and statutes, some of them facing 7 years imprisonment. If I serve notice on them and say, here you go, and then they cease to act, they are also now liable. You see how you're trapping them?
Yeah.
So, and what we do, sir, we're nice and gentle. We serve notice of interest, Mr. MP, you know, what, Billy Bob, I think you need to look into this, mate. Here you go. Here's the information. We've done it all. This information is on the Sovereign Wiki. It's called Council Tax Remedy. That's phase 1. All this information is done for you. All the links are done for you. There's a template in there. Everyone can get into this right now. You serve notice. You wait 30 days and see what happens. And then you see what response you get. And then we'll take it further. We've got a phase 2, a phase 3. And ultimately, I will give you all the documentation, all the paperwork that will give you.
Would we serve that as individuals? Or as a group?
Individuals, yeah, not as a group. That's the power of the individual. It's the individual sovereign. Like from my house, from your house, from your house. So we're not a collective. We are a network of sovereigns at the same level. There's no leader. I'm not a leader. Don't follow me. I'm just looking for other men who are also sovereigns who want to do this, right? And be responsible for your own lives. So you're all equal. This is where everyone says the power of the people. Yeah, but it's on an individual basis, not as a group. Because most people, when they join a group, what do? Sit back, don't do anything. Wait for the leader to do it all. There's no power there. It's the individuals. So if I've got 100,000 sovereigns, men, all like focused like me, serving notice, that's power.
Yeah, there was another group, Pete, when COVID was hitting, and they were going around serving papers on schools and whatnot. Brilliant in the response, but the way that they were forwarding the letters to me,
right,
and the use of English and the almost threat-like language and swearing and things, just think you've lost it, man.
You've lost it.
Yeah, you've got to do things the right way, haven't you?
You do.
So one thing you were mentioning, serving notice on people.
Yes.
So would that be things like malfeasance in public office?
Correct. All of it. All of it. You would serve notice on it. And now here's the thing with notices, right? I know people are learning this stuff, which is good to see. But don't go crazy. Don't go off writing notices unless you've done your research and you've got the evidence to back it up. This is why we've done that. We've done that for you. So what we've done, again, with the Sovereign Wiki, the remedy is there, is we've done the homework. I'll give it to you. There's your evidence. Now you can serve notice, right? So never ever serve notice or get into any legal battle unless you've got your evidence good to go. All right? Don't do affidavits unless you have proof and evidence. So get your case sorted, get your evidence sorted, then you can go in and serve notice. Now, you've got to be very careful when serving notice. I don't want people to get blasé about it. You can only serve notice upon someone if there is a cause. All right? In other words, that person that you are serving notice on has done something that is directly affected you. Okay? So, for example, if the MP has decided to put speed bumps all the way down your street, which is unlawful and illegal, by the way, then he's responsible for that because he is violating my right to travel. So I can serve notice upon him. Yeah, there's the cause. It was his decision. He signed off on it. He did it. He's now reliable. So there has to be a cause before you start serving notice. Now, it's a bit different with politicians because the politicians are basically there and this is official narrative. The official narrative of a politician or an MP is he's there to serve the public. In reality, he's not. He doesn't serve the people in any way, shape or form. Neither do the police. They're all corporate. But we're calling their bluff. So we serve notice on them. And what we're doing, we're not saying they're liable. We're just bringing some information to their attention. That's why it's called a notice of interest. So you're saying, you go to the MP and say, here's something of interest. Something that you should look into. All this fraud within the council tax. And if they don't act upon it, they then become liable because they didn't act upon it. But it's the power of the individual, not as a group. People have got to stop looking to join groups for protection or paperwork to be protected. You cannot be protected by a constitution, by the way. The Magna Carta does not protect you. All these documents, the Bill of Rights absolutely does not protect you. Human Rights Act does not protect you. In fact, Human Rights Act makes you a taxpayer. It's a trap. All of it. Constitution is a trap. Makes you a constitutor, which means you've agreed to pay the debts of the corporation.
Right, we've got 650 chess clubs.
Yep.
each with 100 members.
Yeah.
So someone from Leicester Chess Club serves notice on the local MP.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else serves one in Derby,
Correct.
one in Sheffield, one in
Everyone
Rotherham,
does.
one in Doncaster.
Yes, everyone does.
Then from there, where does it go from there?
Right, let me explain. Here's the thing. I got this from well, if people look into my history, I did dabble in politics.
Because would just a sec, Pete.
Okay.
Would them MPs suddenly, as a corporate, as a unit, start saying, "Have you had one of these? Bunch of nutters. These. What are you going to do about it?"
Correct.
I'm going to ignore it. What are you going to do about it? Well, if you're ignoring it, I'm ignoring it. So
Right.
where do we go from there?
Yeah, let me explain how it works. Yeah, if you're on your own and you just serve notice on your own, they'll ignore you. But what are you going to do? You're too small. You're small fry. Now, here's a problem. This is some advice I got from an ex-MP long time ago. He says the one thing that they fear the most is being held responsible, personally responsible by name, and receiving notice of intent to sue. That's when they leg it. They love everything else. If you do complaints, they love that. If you call them MP and all the rest of it, they love that because it gives them authority. Remember, if you complain, what you're doing is you're complaining to somebody, you're lifting them above you. Like when a 5-year-old complains to mummy and daddy, it's bedtime, right? So you never complain. Sovereigns don't complain. So complaining, protesting, petitioning, all that politicians love because it bigs them up, because it puts them into a position of power. They love that. Especially if you're saying government this and MP that, and you're using legal titles and all the rest of it, and you don't know your language. They love all that. But what they fear the most is being held accountable by name, by someone who says, I'm going to sue you. Doesn't matter if you quit. I will sue you. I'll take your house. That's what they fear the most. Now, going back to the reason why we're going to serve notice on all MPs, here's the thing. Within their system, if all MPs, all 650 of them, receive notification from their, I'm going to use air quotes here, constituents of a situation, they have to bring it up for debate. So when they bring it up for debate in the Houses of Commons, and then they start talking about it in their chambers and all the rest of it, it has to be debated. That is when I have a friend of mine who's also an MP, who's willing to expose the council tax fraud if that happens. He can't do it at the minute because he's on his own and he's being persecuted for other things. But if that debate happens, he can slide in and say, yes, council tax is fraudulent because there is no liability order and the councils do not even have the legislation to send you a bill. It doesn't exist. There is no obligation to pay the council. So that will expose it. Now, what I'm hoping will, again, this is why it's called chess clubs, because I'm playing the long game.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping this will do is once that gets into the public consciousness, that's going to cause like video clips. Look what they're talking about. Oh, I didn't know that council was, a fraud. And then you start getting 2 million people instead of 200,000 people involved. And that's when I sit back and I see it unravel and everyone's going to be sharing stuff on their social media.
So
what have I created?
Yes, I can done my part.
Yeah.
So what's the time scale you can see that happening in? Have you got a business plan for that?
I do, but this is where it's up to everybody who's listening to this. It's up to you. It's up to everybody. It's up to everyone's watching this and shares this. Up to you. If you want to make this happen fast, get involved, set up a chess club, give us your details, and we'll make it happen. It only happens if enough people step up and say, I want a part of this. If there's enough men out there, or enough sovereigns, we'll take ladies, of course. You know what? More ladies are taking on this fight than men.
Well,
yeah.
Do you know, we spoke about this last week, me and Luke. During the freedom marches and stuff like that during COVID, I noticed one thing. There was a lot more women involved and fighting back than what there was men.
Yes.
And it really opened my eyes and shocked me that.
Yes.
I went on a march in London where mainstream media said there was 10,000 people there. There was over 1 million people
way
there.
more than that.
And I'd say that 70% were women.
Yes.
Or female.
Yeah. I agree.
And they weren't all men in dresses.
No.
So, and it really surprised me at the time. I thought we'd have a lot more fight back from. And one of the things that I thought that they did, and they did clever, was they kept a lot of the men happy with keeping football on and stuff like that. Because if they got all the men who watch football and they stopped that, they might have had a lot more aggro on their hands.
Yeah.
And I do believe that was one of the reasons they kept things like sport on. And it was always on hand, always on TV. I really believe that they did that on purpose.
Yeah, it's bread and circus. Distraction, that's what it is. Now, again, there's nothing wrong with sports. I'm not saying sports is a bad thing, because men are competitive
Not at all,
anyway.
I love it.
Yeah. But the thing is if watching sport controls your life, you've got a bit of a problem. It should be a sideline. You know, you should be basically focusing on your life and more important things, and sports should just be a little bit of a pastime, a bit of an entertainment. The thing with sports, I mean, I like watching a little bit of sports, but the sports I like is when I appreciate the skill of the sportsman. So I like a Tyson fight, for example. I like watching Group B rallying, because I think that skill level of that. And sometimes I might watch a 147 break in snooker. You go, oh, that's skilled, yeah, you know. But I won't follow a team, because the thing with a team is they don't know who I am. The football players don't know who I am. Why am I cheering for them? Yeah, I know, they're going down. No.
I'm a temporary player of this club that I don't give a shit about. I'm not even from this country. I'm kissing my badge. There you go.
Yes.
As long as you keep paying me millions.
Keep paying. But I mean, modern day sports now is all turned political, so I can't watch any of it. The Formula One is just boring. It's all the same car. You know, the rules have stagnated. It's all politics. You know, it's too much. I mean, if you want to watch Formula One, the 80s stuff is the good stuff. You know, when men were men and they were driving proper cars with no ABS and traction control, and they got 700 brake horsepower behind them. But yeah, I mean, it's just it's dreary. I can't do it.
So before we wrap up, Pete, how do people get involved?
Yep.
Where do they find you? We can put links onto that.
Yes.
And how do people find you?
Well, like I say, we've got a website, which is thesovereignproject.live. Okay. There is contact information on there. You can get in contact through the email on the website. Please don't try and contact me directly, because a lot of people are doing that, and I can't do. I get people all the time saying, I know you're busy, but can I have a 10-minute phone call with you? No, I get it all the time. I can't do it. I've got a team waiting. People are volunteers who are waiting for your emails, and I've got people set up ready to go, and we'll get you in contact with the right people in my team. If you want to do a workshop, we'll help you with that. If you want to do a chess club, we'll help you with that. If you want to be a lone knight, that's another position we're trying to set up. If you want to be a lone knight, you want to be a part of that, we'll help you with that as well.
What's a lone knight?
So a lone knight, you might notice the chess pieces, because I'm playing chess here, and it's global. I'm playing chess. So you've got a workshop. Now, a normal workshop, a stage level 1 workshop, is also in combination. Chess club is also in combination with a workshop. So whoever holds a workshop knows his stuff. He's got rid of the brainwashing, knows what I know, is at very high level, right? And that person who holds a workshop will also do a chess club. That's a level 1 chess club. So the person who goes there knows a lot of stuff. We also do a level 2 chess club, which is just people who want to meet up, and want to learn this. Okay, so that's a level 2. That'll be a bishop. All right, so a king is normal level 1, bishop level 2. Then a lone knight is someone who can't get to a workshop, can't get to a chess club, and doesn't want to set one up, and they're alone, they're remote, but they want to be involved. And you will be a lone knight. So you'll be part of the network. You're not alone anymore. You're part of the network. So I've got these chess pieces. Once I get enough people involved, we'll set up a map. We'll put the chess pieces on the map, and then you can see where your local workshop is and all the rest of it. And then the network will start to expand. Once I get a big, powerful network of sovereign people, we can work on this. And then first is council tax. Then we're going to deal with the DVLA scam. Then we're going to deal with everything. 15-minute cities. Oh, God, I'll topple that, no problem at all. That's the end of that. Digital IDs goes in the bin. Cashless, no, that goes in the bin. That's not happening.
I think you might need to create another one, a queen. For all them women who want to fight, right?
Yes.
Or the men who just want to dress up. Anyway, Pete, we've run out of time today, and that's been absolutely brilliant. I could sit here listening all day, and I hope we can do this again sometime.
Yeah, we'll do it again. There's so much we can cover.